Yeah, it's nighttime already, and yep, some people are currently sleeping. So I feel it's good we talk about those people who are weak. We just talk about music in total. Uh, I think I have some time today. Okay, so whatever I'm going to be talking about right now, I'll be talking about some contents out of my book, my ebook here, Speed Piano Tutorials. So that's what I'll be using for this musical talk we'll be doing. If you want the book, it's right in the description of this, in the comment section of this video. You can see it and download if you want right away. So let's talk. Generally, let's talk about. Okay. Well, okay. Sorry, I saw something on left. So generally, let's talk about music in total. Like, what's your whole perception? Because when I say let's talk about music and practice for 2 hours, I'm not just talking about. I'm talking about music in general, both music business. Understand both music business, both making money out of it, what piano players should do to make cash and the rest, and other important stuff that is really, really, uh, bothering players. How? You understand? So, for the purely musical act, something soft. I think some of my keys are having a lot of touch sensitivity. Especially this one and this one. Don't bother about what I'm playing. I'm just trying to get the sound. So when I talk, it's going to act like a backing track. Okay. So that's it, right? So here we have the sound. I'm gonna copy and paste it here. So let's see what happens at. Okay. So first thing I want to talk about is, as a beginner, what's the first thing you should learn as a beginner? As a beginner, what's the first thing you want to learn? I'm not rushing. I mean, we're going to have a lot of conversation for 2 hours, so I'm not rushing. So as a beginner, let's say a total beginner, what should you learn? What you should learn, it's not even learning going straight to playing the piano first. Even if you want to play piano, yeah, but you should learn about music definitions, music as it applies, and music in general. You should learn the general concept of music before relating it down to piano, if you get what I mean. So we'll come back to the piano, we'll come back here. But you see, a lot of people miss out if they don't learn this, and that's why in my book I did that for the first. So I started by explaining. I said some musical concepts you must know, which is this. Okay, so I think I should switch on my camera. Okay, yep, not this one. And put it somewhere, yeah. So some musical concept you must know. That was the first thing I talked about. So you say music can be defined as the combination of pleasant sounds, and its history can be traced to the creation story. That's what I have, my own perception. He said, however, the opposite of music is noise, which has sounds unpleasant to the ear. Music may be noise to some other. You understand? Music to you understand, may be noise to some other, to the other. But one thing to note is that music has little or no disadvantage, as it entertains, one, unifies, two, serves as source of income, and so much more other positive function and advantage attributed to music. This is the first thing I always teach people. No matter the instrument you want me to teach, once it's related to music, then you have me explaining this to you. Understand? So why do I explain this? Because if you don't have this consciousness, if you're not aware of this, you have issues as you keep going advance. Now, a lot of people like a specific kind of genre of music. Let's say they like jazz. They like hip hop, or they like a specific kind of music that they like. So for the fact they like that kind of music, if you're doing another kind of music, maybe you're doing like R&B, blues, they see you as like, they have this attitude, understand? So music, to show that you are a real musician, you're a matured musician, you should be able to respect everybody's choice of music. You should be able to respect, oh, this is your style, this is what you're doing, yeah. But what we see online these days is people trying to bash each other, trying to form house period, how, it's very, very degrading on their own part. Seriously. That is not the essence of music itself. Music comes with respect, and that's what I teach at the first lesson. This is topic 1 of my book. That's the first lesson there. I gave the definition, and just to point it out, there's no disadvantage of music. If you look at it from my own perspective of music, you understand? Because noise to you can be music to someone else, and music to you can be noise to someone else. So that's why it's hard to pick the disadvantage. So you may like the jazz music, and someone doesn't like jazz music. Someone likes the old calm R&B music, and you like the jazz, the hip hop stuff. You understand? Now, when someone is doing the calm R&B, it will sound noisy to them. You understand? It will sound noisy to you, but when you're doing your jazz, it sounds noisy to them. But being a complete musician is your ability to respect everybody's choice. Oh, this is what. And sincerely, I always say this, that every music that is done in its professional, every genre of music that is done in its professional level, accurately, well, sounds beautiful. You understand? I'm going to repeat that again. Every genre of music that is performed or created in its real professional level sounds cool. So that's when you start to realize that actually there's no genre of music that is bigger than each other. Every genre of music is unique. There's no one you can say, oh, jazz is big. No. The issue we have most times in this part of the world or wherever we are is that you might be a professional jazz piano player. You understand? A professional jazz player. And you go to an event or something and you see people playing R&B, but their skill level is at beginners. So because their skill level is at the beginners, they're playing R&B at the beginner skill level. You now say R&B sounds funny. It's not nice. You understand? You degrade the genre. For example, you say, oh, R&B, because the people playing it at that point, when they are not playing it at the height of it. They are playing it at the lowest level. So if you analyze R&B, At the highest level, you understand that R&B is actually very beautiful, and in fact, it is not. It is. You can say jazz is bigger or R&B is bigger. I'm using this for an example. Same to it, an R&B professional player, someone who is an R&B player who is very proficient with R&B. Then you go to an event and you see a jazz piano player which skill set is at the beginner level playing jazz, and you see what it's playing and you're like, is this how jazz music sounds? And you use that to weigh the general perception of, no, you're missing it. Now when you want to judge a genre of music, listen to it at its in its professional form, in its highest level, when it's performed by the best of the best that are masters and principalities in that particular genre. Then you will be able to appreciate it. So the fact that you're so good in a particular genre of music, and maybe you're coming across other people who may be in their mid-level or low level in other genres of music, doesn't mean their own genre of music is poor. And that is why I say there's no genre of music that is bigger than each other. It complements each other. You understand? So that is why at this point, in this time of the world right now, we have what is called fusion of genres. That's why you have jazz, you have R&B jazz. You can see R&B in jazz. You can see R&B in jazz. You can see country music in trace. You can see a lot of music. You can see ballroom. You can see dance music inside bass, drum and bass, etc. You can see reggae having some feel in salsa. So there's now fusion of different genres of music, because they are now able to, they complement each other. You understand? So just to reorganize your mind for those people who who look down on other genres of music and say this genre of music is this. I'm an advocate of. I don't. Once I see you look down, I just know this person is not a matured musician. It's not there yet. It's still coming up. You understand? So when you listen to some professionals play their genre of music, that's good. So that way, imagine we all have all the professional skill set players on all genres. Then you can make your analysis, and I bet you at that point you'll be really, really confused. You'll be really confused because you're like, so reggae music can sound so beautiful like this. When you listen to Lucky Dube, Bob Marley, when you listen to jazz pieces, you listen to Take 5, you listen to R&B at their professional, you're like, wow, you're able to appreciate it. So in essence, I'm taking my time to explain this because this has eaten so much to people, and some people start to miss out. Instead of collaborating and working together, they find themselves fighting each other, trying to feel, yeah, I'm on the supreme side. My own is nothing like that. You all are using chords. You all are using scales. You all are using the same terms in music, semitones, tones, everything. That is what is used in all genres of music. So how is any genre of music? No, they all have. If I start to break down the technicalities of each genre of music, you will be so amazed. You'll be so amazed, I'm telling you. So the genre of music that you think is easy, this is the most simple or the easiest genre of music. By the time you hear you listen or you approach that music from the professional skill set or professional level where you'll be so surprised. You understand that it's not that easy as it sounds. So that is what I do, and that is why I had that in the page, the first around the first topic in my book here where I explain. So that's why I said noise to you can be music to me, and music to me can be noise to you. It's as simple as that. You understand? So when you go around and you meet musicians, you meet people, you guys talk about this, you have to understand that, respect each other. There's no need to start fighting. I mean, it's very funny. Musicians always try to fight themselves. You understand? Always try to fight yourself. You play 12 keys. This person is trying to play 12 keys. You've already degraded the person. And the funniest thing is they don't even want to show love. They don't want to say, okay, how can we help you? Just, yeah, that's very funny. That's so low of you if you're in that shoe. You understand? So the next thing I always talk about is genres of music, because when you know different genres of, and when I teach this, I make sure that most times I tell my students, I say, see, you go listen, and this is a few that I put here. I say, go listen to these genres of music at their professional skill set level, not at the low level. You understand? So I said genres of media. There are so many genres of music, but just to mention a few, I made mention of salsa, I made mention of jazz, I made mention of blues and swing, reggae, there's makossa, there's afro pop, and the list continues. You understand? So the list is unending. There are several genres of music. You understand? So a lot of things I see is some people are so confused when it comes to genres of music. See, there's beauty in specialization. However, if you're dynamic, you have more keys. You understand? Every musician, I'm going to tell you for real, every musician, they have their advantage. They have the genre of music where they are advantaged. They have where they have their advantage. Now, if you see a very good jazz player that plays jazz so well, and the rest, you tell him to go and play reggae, he may fumble. So start playing reggae. No. But when you give him jazz, same thing. If you see someone, a very good classical musician, plays very well, if you tell him to play you hip hop, they may fumble. You understand? But that is why I said it's good to listen to other genres, appreciate it also. When you open your mind and you don't keep your mind stereotyped, you open your mind to be, spread your mind out. You appreciate this music. Because from time to time, you get to meet bands, you get to meet musicians, you get to meet people, you get to meet different walks of life. You can travel from the UK to Italy, or travel from Italy to Brazil, or from Brazil to the US, or from the US even to Africa. And imagine if you've not come across those songs, you don't have an idea, because you're so like every other genre of music is nonsense to you. Now you're gonna miss it. You understand? So the proper, these genres of music, have an idea. Now, what is it about knowing a genre of music? Now, what is it about knowing a genre of music? I'm going to tell you what it means to say you have an idea in a particular concept, and to say you know that concept. It's two different things. A lot of people feel they know a particular concept in music, but they only have an idea. They don't know. You understand? They feel they know a particular concept. So I'm going to explain that to you. Understand? I'll explain that to you so that you can see what happens, how it goes. Now, what does it mean to actually know a genre of music? Someone asks you, okay, this genre of music, what does it mean to say, okay, you know this genre of music? It's very simple. Now, to know a genre of music, this is a very serious something that a lot of people miss, and that's why they are finding it hard in grow in music. Now, before you say you can play jazz music, this jazz genre, very important now, it